My name is Timothy Kili, and I happen to be the founder of Servo Savvy Limited. Servo Savvy Limited is a company that developed and owns BipEDGE. BipEDGE is an app that is designed to support employees who want to successfully transit from paid to self-employment. I'm sure you agree with me, the statistics we did a while ago. 3 out of every 5 employees, at least in Nigeria, especially in Lagos specifically, is interested in moving from paid employment to self-employment, whatever the reasons are, various reasons. Ultimately, retirement will make you even go into self-employment at the end of the day. So 3 out of every 5 employees interested in making this transition, but often the case, they do not make this transition. And for many reasons, from the lack of business expertise, from the lack of funding, from the lack of the right support structure, the fear of leaving paid employment, all of these put together are the things we looked at, and we came up with the solution that we've called BipEDGE. BipEDGE basically meaning business preparation edge, meaning the app will give you the edge based on your being prepared even before you go into the business. It is one thing to be in paid employment for say 10 years, 20 years, even probably 30 years, and it's a different ball game when you're now going into self-employment. It's a different ball game altogether. So what BipEDGE is designed to do is to give the right support structure to employees who have said, either by reason of retirement or resignation or layoff, or you know what, I just want to leave, it's my time, I'm done with paid employment, I want to see my dream of my own business. BipEDGE is designed to provide that support structure to enable that employee begin to actively move towards going into self-employment successfully. I personally have had friends who had left paid employment, went into self-employment, and after a while they ran back into paid employment. I hear them tell you, business is not for everybody. Some people are meant to do business, some people are not. And I beg to differ. Business is a set of skills that if you're willing to learn it and align with it, with all of the discipline, anybody can succeed in business. And that's what we're preaching in BipEDGE. We're providing that support structure that will enable an employee to say, I'm going to be in paid employment 5 years from now. 10 years, I'm leaving paid employment. I'm going to start my own business. And how is BipEDGE going to achieve this? There are 4 unique features on the app that allows an employee to engage and begin to actively move into self-employment. And these features are designed to address the issues we found out are predominant with people who say, I want to leave, but often do not leave. So on the list of our feature, first of all, is what we call our Transitional Roadmap. That's where for us it all begins. And the Transitional Roadmap entails enabling you as an employee to begin to have a plan. First of all, from where you are and where am I going to? So what business do I want to go into after I leave paid employment? What do I want to do? And all of that. So the app begins with you downloading the app, engaging the transitional plan that will ask you a series of questions to begin to help you clarify. Is it bakery you want to start? Is it makeup you want to do? Do you want to set up? What kind of business do you want to go into? Even while you are still in paid employment, you're already putting all that into consideration. So the roadmap then gives you that plan. So with that plan, to a large extent, you have an idea of where you're going and when you'll be going into self-employment. Secondly, there's no business that can run without money. You can't start any business without money. So the app also has the savings opportunity where while you are working, you can begin to save towards that specific business that has a specific budget. So if I want to go into a paid employment in 5 years and the business I'm going into requires 5 million, I do not need to wait until 5 years' time to start looking for 5 million. From today, I can begin to probably save probably even 10,000 or 5,000 on a monthly basis. They say little drops of water do what? Make a mighty ocean. From one step, eventually I'll find myself, even if I do not get the entire 5 million, at least I can get equity, where then it is easier to then ask other people to come and invest because I already have something on ground. But if you want to start off a business and you have 0 naira and you're expecting people to come in and put millions for you, often no investor is willing to do that with you. But when I see that you've put something in there, the business is worth it, people will often come. So the savings platform allows you to begin to save towards a specific business that has a specific budget that you want to begin at a specific time. And then after the savings, next is what we call our transitional training. In my life experience, I've often found out that quickly, the business owner can become the biggest challenge of a business. I've seen it happen a lot, where somebody leaves paid employment, goes into self-employment, and unknowingly, he becomes the biggest problem of his own business because he carries the employee mentality into self-employment. It doesn't work. So he begins to run into all sorts of blockades, issues, challenges. If he's a religious person, he gets into prayers, gets into fasting, binding and losing and calling village people and all of that, when often the problem is just him because the mentality is what is wrong. So what we have what we call the transitional training. The idea of the transitional training is while you are saving for that business, we need to prepare you for that business. Because at some point, your money will be ready, but the question will now be, are you ready for the business? Because if we give you all of the millions, even if we give you 20 million, and you are not ready for the business, what often will happen? 20 million will go down the drain. And I've personally seen it with people who go into retirement, where all of their severance package. So finally, I'm retired, I get 20 million and all of that, and I launch it into a business with little or no expertise or experience, and in 2 years' time, I've lost 15 million. Sometimes some even lose 20 million in less than a year. All of this we try to address by providing series of trainings that will begin to correctly position that employee to say, you are making the shift. It is time to begin to think differently. It is time to begin to understand. Now the buck will end with you. Now you're going to be the ones making decisions. Now if you do not move, nothing else will happen. Unlike when you're in paid employment, a lot of things you may not do a lot, yet salaries will come in. Now there's not going to be any steady salary. If you do not work, nothing works. So all of those understanding of what it entails to become an entrepreneur, you'll be ongoing all of this while still in paid employment because you're preparing. So the plan, first of all, gives you a clarity. You get clarity. It's clear where you're going. And then the savings begins to put your money together. And then the transitional training begins to prepare you because you are actually the biggest asset of the business. If you give a man who has 10 million mentality, you give him 10,000, you go away. If you come back in a year time, you see him on his way moving 10,000 into 10 million. But if you give a man that has 10,000 mentality, you give him 10 million, come back in a few months, he's moving that 10 million to 10,000. So there's a need to have the right mentality when it comes to doing what? Running the business. And finally, on the app also, we have what we call our consulting sessions, where there are many reasons people do not take these steps. One of them, for example, is the fear of leaving paid employment, the lack of expertise, making decisions. So on the app, we've created an opportunity to, when you've put together your plan, your savings is going on, you've engaged the transitional training, both at the basic and advanced level, you're engaging the training, but you still have certain issues that you need someone to deal with it one-on-one. You will have the opportunity to engage with consultants on the app to say, right now, I've done my map, I'm still not sure what business to pursue. And that's one place I've seen a lot of people get confused. What business should I pursue? Should I pursue bakery, like I said? Should I pursue entertainment? Should I follow my passion or should I follow my expertise? Should I follow where I'm experienced in or should I follow what I'm passionate about? So I've been in the banking sector all my life, but I've always been passionate about baking. So should I go into running a bakery now or should I look for something where I've been working in the last 20 years? So all of these issues and more would be addressed and dealt with because the employee will have an opportunity to engage a business consultant on the app. And these are the 4 major features that BipEDGE offers, amongst other things that will be going on in the app, from book reading, helping people to form the right habits, helping people to network, and all of that combined together. The ultimate idea is that in 10 years' time, maximum, BipEDGE wants to move at least 1 million employees from paid employment to self-employment. And that's our vision for the next 10 years. We want to move a minimum of 1 million employees from paid employment to self-employment across Africa. Across Africa. That's our ultimate vision. That's where we're going. That's our success story.